At the heart of the creative case is a kind of urgency. It's kind of saying, look, we've come so far, which is brilliant, and we should celebrate that. We've got a long way to go. Now's not the time to give up. In actual fact, now is the time to make a kind of transformative leap. There's a very strong and compelling argument about why diversity and equality should be considered as being central to the arts and artistic practice. Rich Mix, I think, is wonderful. This is a great positive establishment out of a lot of hard struggle by people along the way, both politically and socially and culturally, to try and create a space where people can come together.
But just a bit of context, I've been here 4 years, I do all the programming in the building.
So it hasn't got this huge barrier that you have to kind of push your way through to get into it, to see the art, or to experience the art, or to partake in the art. It's actually somewhere that invites you in. It's very egalitarian, and of course that fits with the area, you know? It's a very working class area, and it's a very artistic area, and those two things coming together in Rich Mix are what makes it unique. What I've seen, I'm really happy to see in the past year or so, is the way that really the creative case has been owned by the arts sector. I've been working in the Arts Council for 8 years. Never has there been so much proactivity amongst arts organisations in coming forward and saying, we've got our take on this. And it's creating all these conversations amongst these different artists and organisations. It is about fairness, if you like. It is about giving everyone a chance to be an artist or partake in the arts. But it's also about the art that we create that reflects the Britain that we are and asks questions about the Britain that we wish to be. What is the relationship between the arts and the community that it arises out of? What is the relationship between arts and Britain in the 21st century? These kids, would they ever have a chance of becoming artists? And if not, why not? And if they did, what could they tell us about society? If we don't see that world reflected in our theatres, in our galleries, on our dance stages, then we're not really telling the whole story. There's something missing. And that's why equality is really there at the heart of the creative case. You need more interesting people coming in from all sorts of different angles. That's what makes the arts happen and grow and come alive. Although we're going in the right direction, we could go much further, much quicker. In actual fact, I think our society in this country is kind of pregnant with the kind of the possibilities for a leap. So if you think about jazz, for example, in the 1920s, out of a group of people who'd 50, 60 years previously been enslaved, suddenly there was an explosion of cultural and artistic activity in Harlem. So if you think about jazz, how it's structured, how it's composed, the syncopation, the dissonance, the improvisation, that is what America is all about. That's America. Dissonance, syncopation, movement, improvisation. That's America in the 1920s. So although it came out of that small, unlikely group of people, it actually summed up America as a whole. And that was a huge leap in cultural and artistic terms for America. America could never go back without jazz inflections in great American novels. How would Jack Kerouac ever have written On the Road if it wasn't for jazz and the jazz world and the jazz scene? Diversity is part of this way that art evolves and art changes and art innovates. In 21st century Britain, when something new does arise, our diversity will be at the heart of it. It will be in the DNA of it. And it will be much, much more sophisticated and much more interesting and much more challenging. The question is, how can we, as an arts community, maximise those opportunities where something new and unique arises? And that's what we've got to work at. Great art for everyone. It's the everyone bit. That's what we need to keep pushing on. You've got this great unrealised wealth that's kind of bubbling up from most unexpected places in society, most overlooked places in society. It's there for the taking. It's a gift. If only you unlock it and recognise it and value it, and then suddenly we can be talking about an artistic leap. And that's a very exciting thing to think about.